Hunter saves it. Hunter Hughes is coming around. Here comes Colton Garner. It's Hunter Hughes!
Turn 4 for the final time. Who's got more ponies? Checkered flag out. Bluegrass 150 goes to Ian Miller.
And welcome back to the Daily Driven Podcast, guys. As always, I'm your host, Nick Zammit.
Good, get the name out there. It's like, hey, Joseph Newgarden, you're the guy with the sperm commercial. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Indy Racing World Series. I am not Taka Timmerman, but I am DJ Fluck, and we'll get into why I'm here. Taka's with me. We'll get into the alternate arrangement here in a little bit, but welcome to the Stadium Scene Grand Prix from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So let's take a look at the track. The drivers are finishing up their qualification session. We'll be taking the grid here in just under 5 minutes. So Mid-Ohio, our previous winner was Hunter Hughes, back all the way back in Season 1. And Hunter has returned tonight to defend his crown at this track, his home track. And we'll be getting into that here in a little bit. So good evening, Taka.
Good evening.
We are getting ready to get started here, and I'm running first seat tonight because you having a missing adapter for your monitor.
Yeah, missing 2 adapters. All these great cables, and I only got HDMI when I need a display port. Unfortunately, that's one of the only items I forgot. Brought everything else besides those 2 adapters.
The dreaded adapters. They get you every single time.
They do.
Stock up on those.
Yes, I really need to just
before
a jacket full of them.
Just go get them right now before they double in price.
Oh yeah, I should.
I have had a stock up sale myself, so I've got some spare equipment in here for when it goes down. But let's take a look at the board tonight. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers participating, and I should probably take the scoring box up here. So Matthew Faust is currently leading the way with Ian Miller in second. So this is a little different than our oval racing. We do a 15-minute open qualification, just to similar to Formula One style. We just give 15 minutes, get out there, get your best lap in, and you need to make multiple attempts. So it's should have a good field tonight, and we're seeing some times in the 108s. 108s, 109s. We got Erik Richardson in around 111 and a half right now. So Erik, I know, is around the 109, 110 mark. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out for 50 laps.
That is true. Another thing I would like to point out is that from the qualifying, they have to. The tire that they run in qualifying is what they're going to start off in. So I'd be curious to see if any of the drivers start off in the primary tires rather than alternate tires, because I believe the alternate tires have a little bit more grip versus the primary tires. So we may see on the scoreboard or on our tire charts over here that some of these drivers might stick with the primaries and run a little bit slower, but have a really quick back half.
I've been told we need to turn your volume up a little bit. Fair enough. Thank you for that. Hopefully that's not too much.
Hopefully not.
You know, you think you get settings. We were talking about this before we went on the air. You think you have your settings figured out. You come back in, and for some reason, iRacing is quieter, Taka's louder. I'm like, what? How? Like, we just used this like 4 weeks ago, whenever that was.
Yeah,
So
it always goes back and forth.
blame Windows. So we're down to our last 30 seconds of qualifying. I don't think we're going to see much change in the way.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'm looking forward to a fun 50 laps of some road course racing. I know a lot of the drivers were chatting in the drivers chat about how kind of tough the driving around the course is, and how they were struggling to get under a certain time, under, I believe it was 110.
There's the sand trap that on cold tires, or if you brake too late, it may claim a victim or two tonight.
Oh yeah. Oh, and one more thing that's different about road course racing here is no cautions.
No cautions
that we
indeed.
usually have. Yeah.
And so I did say up on the top of the broadcast why I'm here. We went over why Taka, or I'm kind of running the show tonight, but the reason why I'm here is about 2 weeks ago. It was actually a couple hours before Wednesday Night Dash aired, and I happened to step off of a curb and roll my ankle, and I'm like, oh great, I sprained my ankle. We were driving at, I believe, Atlanta that week, so it was, my left ankle, don't really need my brake foot very much, so I took some ibuprofen and went on my way. I went to urgent care the next day. I'm like, oh, you got an ankle sprain. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that, all right. So I went to the doctor yesterday as a follow-up, and they're like, you don't have an ankle sprain, your foot's broken. I'm like, what? And they're like, look, and they show me the x-ray, like, you see that line? That's a break. I'm like, all right. So I have a broken foot.
Ouch.
And,
No broken.
and that would explain, too, why I tried to practice. I spent about an hour practicing here on Saturday. And I woke up Sunday, and my foot was just swollen. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I'm like, I cannot do this. So that's why I am here tonight. So while we are waiting, let's take a look at the what to watch for in this evening's Stadium Scene Grand Prix. 50-lap race. Our fuel window is about 25 to 27 laps. We anticipate it being a one-stop race. As we went over a little while ago, it was open qualification. We'll go over the, actually we have the drivers getting ready to take the course, so we should be moving here soon. So let's get the camera in position on our pole sitter.
Yeah, one more thing that's different, I feel like, from most of our other races is that you do have to switch tires between the alternate and the primary.
That's
tires
correct.
tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if the drivers are able to keep the tires and what kind of strategy they go into.
So let's take a look. We've got mostly, just quick glance, we have mostly alternates. We just saw, it looks like, who was that? That was Lucas Puntarelli disappear from the field. I don't know if we lost him. But anyway, starting first tonight, our pole sitter is Matthew Faust. In second, Ian Miller. There he is. Hunter Hughes, as we mentioned, sitting in. This is his home track, his favorite track, so expect a strong showing out of him tonight. Lucas Puntarelli back in the 85. Derek Booker, nowhere to be seen. Erik Richardson, nowhere to be seen. Uh-oh. And Greg Hammond, also nowhere to be seen. That's not good.
Oh, wait.
Do we... okay, I guess they are. That's interesting. The camera didn't follow them. That is strange. But I mean, I see Greg Hammond, I see Erik Richardson. I do not see Derek Booker.
He's in the pits.
He is starting in the pits, it looks like. Okay. So he must have missed the start. I'd say I was getting scared for a second that I got disconnected, but nope, we are good. So as we start this long pace lap around Mid-Ohio.
It'll be interesting to see if we have any shakeups in the season standings for tonight's race.
Oh, we'll see me drop down. Although I missed the Chicago filling in for your food poisoning week. I dropped out of the Richmond race because I was sick, and the red and white lines on the wall was making me nauseous. I erected in New Hampshire like 4 laps in, and I've just had an awful season, both on and off the track. So maybe it's a good thing I'm sitting up here tonight.
Well, I guess we'll see how the rest of the field fares after with these 50 laps of racing.
All right.
Curious to see who comes out on top. See the pace car roll in.
Pace car is dropping out. And the green flag is out, and here we go. See how they handle the tricky turn 1 with Matthew Faust. Clean through turn 1, followed by Hunter Hughes, Ian Miller, Greg Hammond, Lucas Puntarelli, Erik Richardson, and Derek Booker will be exiting the pit. He's sitting about 2.5 seconds behind the rest of the group.
Glad they made it through the first turn pretty cleanly.
Let's take it up to the blimp view here. So we've got a nice single file around the sand trap.
Yeah, a couple of these corners are blind turns, and
They
find a driver who's not ready for it.
They will come up quick, as I experienced during practice, especially coming up to this one through as you're entering the carousel through turn 11. It's very easy to overshoot that turn. All right, we're coming around.
There goes one.
Coming around to complete lap 1. Matthew Faust is in the lead. Who do we lose? We lose Greg? Oh,
yes.
And Greg is heading into the pits. So let's see if we can get a quick replay of what happened there. Wish I had a telestrator. I want to draw on the screen. Make it a lot more fun. So, see Derek Booker. Yeah, there you go. And he just went off the track and fortunately went into the pit lane. So we're going to head back live. And he's in the pits. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe we can get a word with him later. So my only criticism of this track setup in iRacing is I don't really care for a lot of the TV cameras. They don't really show the action very well, and I haven't had a chance to really tweak those setups. But this blimp view is pretty nice. Yeah, you just, especially when you have the close racing. I mean, right now we have 4 or 5 cars in the blimp view.
There could be better views.
It's also, I believe, an older scan, so they don't have as many camera options up there. So Hunter Hughes is sitting about 0.7 of a second behind Matthew Faust so far this evening. Oh, and Hunter late braked and just trimmed that in half, but he almost overran the turn. He's managed to save it and keeps on going.
Yeah, good save by him right there. So we'll see.
We
We'll see if it affects his.
We tell you that late break, that is a place where you can late break, but if you mess that up, you're in big trouble and you're going to beat yourself.
Yeah, there's a couple areas with a high-speed stretch. Could set up very well for passing, but other than that, the middle section is just full of technical turns, corners. One mistake and you're not in the course anymore.
Putting it nicely. Got the got the throwback Miller Lite paint. Fans of kart in the 90s probably remember Bobby Rahal driving that, the blue and white Miller Lite car. The heydays of kart. I'd say Max Pappas may have also had a Miller Lite car.
One thing I'm kind of looking forward to as the race goes on, and I know we're pretty early in the race, but is how each of these drivers will kind of plan out their pit stop and their tire strategy. Because as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, the alternate tires were a little grippier versus the primary tires, but that also means that their tire wear is a little higher. So will they take that pit stop around lap 25 or 27, or will they try to push it if they're on primaries and just try to race through the back half? Will they do it in stints? Or
Look at this in-car battle right now between Hunter Hughes and Ian Miller. Two of them know each other extremely well from endurance racing.
Yeah, we got a close race between these four drivers. Faust, Miller, Hughes, and Puntarelli. Can't count out Booker, he's sitting about 3 seconds behind, but with a road course, you just never know.
I don't know. This in-car is pretty. This in-car with Hunter, as we have on the broadcast right now, this is pretty exciting.
It's pretty interesting, just the different driving styles and the driving lines that the drivers take. I think you can kind of see it from the driver's perspective there. Hunter's kind of following pretty close behind Ian to try to get that slipstream.
So another note is the push-to-pass system. As you can see, Hunter just turned his push-to-pass on. He's down to about 175 seconds. They start with 200. So far, only Derek Booker, who used his used 50 seconds of push-to-pass already, I'm guessing to try to catch up with the field. Hunter has used 25 seconds. The rest of the crew has not touched the push-to-pass at all. So how will that play out later in the race?
That'll be very interesting to see. I feel like these technical turns are where some of these drivers will take full advantage of, like their background in endurance racing. While these straightaways might be something where the drivers who drive in circles will be taking advantage of. So if we see some back and forth action, that might be two spots that we'll see. But I feel like the lead drivers are all very seasoned in their road course racing. Ooh, as we see Ian taking a dive into the inside.
For the lead, he got it. He made it stick.
He did.
coming through the S's, and don't count Derek Booker out. He's a little. I mean, he's won 3 in a row. He's had really good luck after a long drought, and he's just hanging back there. I mean, he's about a second and a half behind Lucas in 4th, but the top 4 are only separated by about 0.3 of a second right now, and looks like I think
honestly, for Derek, all he needs is the front to kind of slow down because they're just having fights in between themselves. He'll be right there with that pack.
Let's check out Derek's perspective in car here. Just, I mean, you can see they're just out of range. Got the aero screen bar in the middle there, blocking blocking the view. For those not familiar with iRacing, you don't have to have the aero screen visor in the center blocking you. You can actually make it transparent, and most drivers will. Whether they admit it or not is a different story, but I most certainly do.
Which makes sense. I've heard a couple of the drivers from like actual IndyCar and F1 say that they can't actually see the bars when they're driving, because I guess the way your eyes are set up, and when you look out, it actually is in your blind spot.
Yeah, it's a 2D 3D environment too, which also impacts the your view. You don't have that same peripheral vision as you would in real life. Ian Miller is broken out to about 0.6 of a second lead over Matthew Faust in second place as we have completed 8 laps, moving into lap 9 out of 50 here. We're cruising along tonight. If you notice, it looks like Ian's on his primary. He's got a good variety of half and half, actually. Well, almost half and half. We have 7 drivers, but 3 started on the alternates, 4 started on the primaries. And Erik is just blowing through his push to pass. He's down to 116 seconds.
He really wants to catch him.
I mean, Ian's broken out to over a second lead over the rest of the pack, which we expected at some point.
Oh,
It's still early. You know, you've got Hunter is also on the primaries.
I'd be curious to see how the rest of the pack fares after they all take their pit stop, because Faust is on alternates, Puntarelli's on alternates, and Booker's on alternates. So will you see a competition between Miller and Hughes for first, and then the rest of the crew for third place? Because I feel like just reading the chat in the driver's chat, the alternates have been faster than the primaries.
Good evening to Chris Fuge, Wednesday Night Dash driver, asking for an end of the line. Well, you got to come into the race first, Chris. Come on.
Speaking of Wednesday Night Dash, I believe last week was the last race of the season.
It was, and I opened my big mouth before the race and said, hey, you know, Texas is one of my better tracks, and I just get popped on the first lap, and just it was basically over from that point on. It just, problem is, like, I probably should have, you know, of course, going back and looking at the replay, it's, you know, you're pretty obvious what your move was, but at the time, and from my limited visibility, from my standpoint, it was either try to push through the hole I had or drop. Oh, I'm enjoying the chat. All right. So Colton Gardner, also Wednesday Night Dash, finished second in the series this season. Said that Chris meant he wants an end of the line to start next season. Don't think that's going to help your team score.
But shout out to Dawson Buchanan, champion of season 11.
He had a rough night at Atlanta that opened the door just slightly, but going out and winning at Texas locked him in. Didn't matter what else happened, but I mean, he could have finished, I think, in the top 17 or 18 and still had clinched in most cases. So, congratulations to him.
And as you said, Colton Gardner
And
finishing in second.
yep, and Hunter Hughes finishing third.
Yeah. And then for the teams, we got Smoky Mountain Racing, who led the points for the team.
They won by 3 points. How about that? That was 3 points.
It's pretty close.
So-
JM Motorsports in second, and then FR Racing in third.
You know what?
Oh no!
Who do we
Spin.
Who do we lose?
We lost Hunter Hughes. it looks
Uh-oh.
like.
Hunter is across the grass. Let's go back and take a look at that replay.
Oh, what a! Looks like he might have been a little too aggressive on the gas pedal.
He just went off track. Yep.
Did he touch the grass?
He might have. Let's get back to live here. That's unfortunate, but there's still time.
There is.
We are only on lap 12 of 50, so there is plenty of time for Hunter, who currently sits only about 6 seconds back. Still has 162 seconds of push to pass. He's got time.
Yeah, he does, and he's also on primaries too. And hopefully on alternates, he'll be able to catch up to the pack.
Oh, as I was saying, as that replay was up, our Wednesday night dash schedule is up. We will probably have an opening for maybe 2 drivers. We are looking for a final commitment on a couple more just to see if they're coming back or not. But I'm projecting right now we'll take on 2. We have 1 new driver, but we will be taking... You're welcome, Chris. Yep, I sacrificed my race for Chris at Texas, but... yeah, we will be back in the truck starting April 23rd at Darlington, and we are made an announcement that we are starting to phase out the stage break in Wednesday Night Dash in favor of cautions. The series has evolved enough that it's time. The super speedways, the caution races have worked out well there, and the kind of the final decision on that was we went to Martinsville last season and had a couple of incidents that wrecked the front pack that probably would have been avoided had we thrown a caution. So it got to, okay, we're going to do super speedways, we're going to do short tracks, and it was just like, well, what the heck, we might as well just start phasing this out. So Darlington, our super speedways at Talladega, IRP, Bristol, and let's see, I believe Michigan is our 5th, and then our road courses will be full course as usual, and the rest will do the stage break. But we'll be phasing that out. We'll see how that goes, and if all goes well, all ovals will be caution races starting in the fall.
Oh, that's exciting. I feel like
I'm getting we've got the if you ever watched the Muppet Show, the Statler and Waldorf, the 2 old guys that sit in the balcony and just critique the show as they go. That's kind of how I feel, because Colton and Chris are sitting here just spitting ideas out just in the chat in real time. So right now we are a fixed setup series, as Colton brought up. We've not really talked about open setup, but I don't, maybe not too many changes at once. Maybe that's something we can look at next year. Maybe a partnership with a setup shop or something. But I don't want to make too many changes at once.
that would be interesting though if it did. But
So we got a big race here next Tuesday night. We will be heading to Indianapolis. And the fall Indianapolis race is our extended race. This will be our, quote, normal length race. Auto Club will be our long race to close the season out. And that's the race I actually won a couple years ago. Thank you. Fuel strategy. Wish we got my... See, the I was like so far ahead of everybody, just like watching the countdown timer, like just the gap just shrink, and I'm like, come on, don't run out of fuel and don't let him catch me.
I was so nervous for you.
It was just it was just a great battle for like 2nd through 6th, and I'm all by myself, just like don't catch me, and it's just like, hey, I crossed the finish line, and it's like quickly get back to the rest of the battle. It's way more interesting.
Yeah, you had, what is it? I think by the time you crossed the finish line, I think they were up like half a second.
No, it was still like 5 seconds, but
Was
like
it?
yeah, I had like with like 30 to go, I had like a 45-second lead on everybody. and and I was fuel saving massively and they managed to trim it down to about 5 seconds, and I would have run out of fuel in about 2 laps anyway. It's just hoping that I wasn't going to have that caution, and I didn't, and it just worked out okay.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Let's check in here at let's take a quick check-in with our drivers here. Currently leading, Ian Miller. Come on, graphic. There you go. Ian Miller currently leading. Sitting about 3.8 seconds back is Matthew Faust in 2nd. 4.4 seconds back, Lucas Puntarelli in 3rd. Derek Booker sits just outside the podium in 4th, 5.2 seconds back. Hunter Hughes is 11.4 seconds back, trying to chase down the rest of the crew. Erik Richardson sitting 36 seconds back of the field, and then Greg Hammond is a lap down, but still running in line with the leaders. So unfortunately, had that early incident that required that early pit stop, but he's, from a race perspective, he's running good times.
Yes, he is. Looking like 111s. I'd say pretty good. And looks like almost everyone's used their push to pass so far. Other than
there we go, more.
And Hammond.
I'm getting I'm being insulted in the chat. I sensed the sarcasm, Chris. He said my Indy win is a top 5 motorsports moment of all time. And it might be, just strictly for the fact that it should never have happened yet. Oh, man. Just getting roasted tonight.
It's nice to see an active and live chat.
It really is. I do. It's once I've started. Oh, he's not insulting me. I would have rather it been an insult. Oh man. You know what? I should have brought a beer with me for tonight, but wasn't thinking.
No, I feel like with road courses, they're always a little tough to do a broadcast with.
It's a lot more.
Sometimes.
It's a lot more casual.
Yes,
I feel like
yes,
in these kind of racing, especially when you're used to just that high speed. You've got one little tiny mistake and just pure chaos happens. But
kind of like some of our endurance broadcasts, our like 3-hour and 6-hour ones.
yes, it kind of filled the time. I mean, but
Yeah.
nothing will top our 10-hour Atlanta broadcast, where by hours like 7 and 8, we were just like downing bourbon for the last
we
three hours. But by that 10th hour, it was hard to like push the buttons on my stream deck. I won't lie.
Hey, we got through it. And, at the end of the day, I think.
I mean, it was like 5 a.m. your time and like 3 a.m. my time at that point.
It was a good time.
Yeah, our next endurance broadcast,
I believe is May 9th.
May 9th.
It's that Nürburgring.
Yep. That's
That'll
gonna
be
be a tough one to broadcast.
Yes, it is.
I don't have the schedule queued up here. Oh, that's unfortunate.
And they're racing the whole course, aren't they? Ooh, Booker went into the.
Whoa! And and there goes the front wing. Oh, we gotta put the.
Yeah, it looks like he lost something with the steering wheel. It looked like it just pulled him right into the sand trap there.
So you have to do that when you cut to the wrecked car. You gotta put the the little graphic up with their name on it, just to kind of. It's almost like to further humiliate the driver. Like, yep, that was you. But nothing is more humiliating than the NFL, where you got a guy going on the microphone telling you exactly who screwed up.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Just kidding.
Oh, you're getting roasted in the chat.
I am getting roasted.
Again.
What are the odds on a road course? I can show you the X-rays. I am just getting roasted tonight, and I love it.
And this is why I don't drive.
Okay. I forget. Are we on yeah. Actually, I think I went back far enough, so hopefully we can catch Derek's wreck here. Oh, there he goes. Whoa! And the spin and the wall, and there goes the front wing and nose. As he's driving around with the nose bouncing around, and there he goes, entering the pit. So Hunter Hughes has moved up into fourth after that. Sitting about 6 seconds back of Lucas and Matthew. Ian Miller's got a good 7-second lead on the rest of the field.
I'd be curious to see if Booker's going to be able to fuel save for the rest of the race and just keep it on stop rate. It'll be close. They're lap 21 right now.
Yeah, that's oof. Yeah,
but even if he's able to fuel save, I don't think the tires are going to last.
No, I don't think the tires are going to last, and just that's a lot of fuel saving. 6 laps on a road course. Yeah, 4 or 5 laps maybe. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, Richardson has moved up to 5th place with Booker going.
He has.
I believe this is still a 1 fast repair race.
That is correct. Yeah, it is a 1 fast repair race. All right, Garrett, let's be honest here. Even, ankle injury or not, I would have been out of this race in about 10 laps anyway. So let's let's be real here. I know my limitations.
Kind of watching Faust and Puntarelli kind of race next to each other.
That's a good idea.
Looks like
it's their best battle on track right now.
Yeah, their tire wear is kind of, I feel like getting to them. I kind of see them sliding a little bit more. Looks like they're a little looser compared to when we first started the race.
Right now, they're the only 2 on alternates.
Yeah, they're going to have to switch to primaries too.
This is a good battle.
Really is. About a quarter second between the 2 drivers, maybe a car apart. Hunter Hughes isn't too far behind. You can kind of see him every now and so on these long stretches. Sitting about 5.
Oh, there goes Lucas, and he's going to outbrake him. He got him. Wow.
Close. Risky.
Yeah, that was a difficult place to pass, but that was a very, very smooth move. Nice job.
Yeah.
So I heard the Indy 500 parking has sold out already. We're still, 47 days away from the race.
That's quick.
Yeah, they said this is the quickest. The last really big turnout they had was for the 100th race in 2016, and they said that it even sold out faster than that. So that's they should have a really good turnout this year. Got Long Beach coming up this weekend, so that'll be exciting. one of those I'd like to go to. I'd love to go to the Long Beach weekend. You got the IMSA racing, great track, and Lucas onto the grass there, but looks like he's okay. Back to the spot where he made his pass on the previous lap. So Taka, did you know Erik and I had a guest on Garage Talk last week?
No, I did not.
Yeah, we did. I'm not going to put the graphic up because I don't want to interrupt this battle. I don't want to pull a Fox here, but oh, I said that out loud. Oops. We had Jorge Anzaldo, who is the founder of the Sim Gaming Expo. We got somebody dropping off into the pits here. Didn't quite catch who that was, but we're staying with it.
Hammond,
It was Greg? Okay, we're staying with this battle. But Jorge is the founder of the Sim Gaming Expo. They'll be coming up with their first... it's the first major U.S. sim gaming trade show expo in the U.S. coming up in early September in suburban Chicago. So unfortunately, I cannot make it this year, but a prior commitment, unfortunately, because I'd rather skip, but I've been told by my boss I'm not allowed to.
Sick day.
Oh, no, I mean, like, well, no, that doesn't work. I can't fake sick days at home. I mean, the boss down the hallway here.
Oh.
That boss.
Oh, yeah, that one.
So the, and Matthew dropped into the pits.
And so did Hunter Hughes.
And he did, yep. So we'll see. Let's catch up with Ian Miller. He should be stopping any time now, as we're just past the halfway point here. Well, Jorge, they are looking to, there's a good show for sim racing in Germany, but, it's tough to, get, it's tough to travel. Just realized, apologize, part of my Discord screen was hanging in the corner there. That's very professional of me. But anyway, so the Sim Gaming Expo, they'll be setting up. They're working with several different vendors. Special guests have announced that they'll be there. And I'll just pull up the list here, including our good friend Eli Singh, who you know as Punju. Eli was our voice of Wednesday Night Dash for a couple of seasons. Matt Malone, the Sim Pit, the Sim Racing Den. Lawrence I can't say his name, but Lawrence is a big gamer, puts out really great videos on iRacing, and he put out a really good one recently on how to do kind of moving cameras as you're recording your screen grabs. Really, really cool video. Reviews hardware into the Apex podcast.
Just a quick race update. Ian Miller and Lucas Puntarelli have gone into the pits. Ian's out, and Lucas is also out as well. So they're still in first and second, with Matthew in third. But just a quick race update.
Probably should be doing that. But anyway,
cool,
yeah, it's there's gaming PC companies, Corsair's gonna be there, SimCube, several different companies will be there. They'll have a whole podcasters room for interviews. It's a good way to connect with your fellow people in this sim world, and it looks like to be a lot of fun. So it's simgamingexpo.com. Get your tickets and check that out if you can make it up to the Chicago area around September 5th of this year. So I won't be in attendance this year, but hopefully Erik and I will be there next year. We'll set up a I don't know, a booth or at least reserve the podcast room. Make that happen.
Yeah, I feel like recently been getting a lot of really cool guests to join the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it only took. I mean, yeah, we got our first professional driver on at episode 100, who, by the way, is now a star of an Amazon Prime series. You know that.
Oh, no way!
You didn't know that? Yeah. So Heather Hadley from the MX-5, the Mazda MX-5 Cup. Last year, she was followed. The Sally Mott, who is the other female in the series, and Heather's team owner, Shay Holbrook of BSI Racing, had a camera crew following him around all season. And there's a 6-part series on Amazon Prime Video called First to the Finish. And I have to go back and watch our interview with Heather from last August. And I don't know if she mentioned anything about that to us. We may have not been able to say that. But, it kind of came as a surprise. I was not expecting that. And, it's cool. It's like I know a star of an Amazon Prime series.
That's so cool. I can't say that every day.
Yep, I've been slacking. I haven't been able to watch it I just got through episode 1 yesterday, so I still have some catch up to do. But yeah, there was some drama last year between Heather and Sally. I mean, they seem to be cool now, at least during the media visits. But they're. Well, at least Sally was pretty upset at the end of episode 1.
Interesting. Looks like Derek Booker had a small incident with leaving the track, and Hunter also taking 3rd place over Matthew and looking to overtake Lucas now. Hunter is on alternates, while Lucas and Matthew are both on primaries now. So we'll probably see some differences in times or lap times. Oh, and looks like Matthew also left the track.
See if we can get it.
Matthew's now sitting about 4 seconds behind Hunter.
Get that replay.
Hunter's about 0.3 of a second behind Lucas, and Ian is really opening up that gap.
There it is. Seconds. Yeah, right through the carousel. It's all right. No, back and running. No harm, no foul. Just lost some time, but now we've got a good battle with Lucas and Hunter.
Matthew does have 200 seconds of push to pass. So.
He does. Erik's only used 9 seconds of his. Matthew, still has his 200 seconds. Ian's only used 10 seconds of his. It's
looks like Hunter's trying to find an opportunity to get around Lucas, see if he's able to find an opening and slip past him.
clean through the carousel and across the start-finish line, starting lap number 31. Great. We've had good battles across the track with different drivers this evening, so it's at least they didn't all get spread out. We've been very lucky, very, very lucky so far.
I feel like my luck hasn't been that good when it comes to broadcasting road courses. So.
It's also difficult to do a road course by yourself, just because of just how spread out everything is. And we've had a couple where you've caught them and I've been able to jump in and get the replay, so it's much easier with a tandem in the booth for that.
It really is. So when I heard about your ankle and my tech issues, I was like, oh, this really worked out.
You texted me asking if I could run the stream, and I was just like, all right, fine, give me a couple minutes to get set up here.
Yeah, I sat there, I was trying to jerry-rig another monitor, and it was going to actually be the TV if I couldn't get it up, and if I had to broadcast, which would have been interesting, to say the least. Oh, it's interesting. Just saw Lucas and Hunter both using push to pass. Lucas trying to prevent Hunter from getting in front of him. while Hunter is trying to use it to get around Lucas. So, and they're using it again.
There goes Hunter on the outside, and into the grass he goes. Oh, that was a very high-risk move on Hunter's part, and it did not pay off.
No, it did not.
Yeah, lost
High reward, though.
Yeah. Lost about a second and a half there. Let's see if he can chase him down. Still got plenty of time left. I mean, last time out, he was about 0.2 of a second faster than Lucas, so it may take him a few laps to get back up there, but he's been faster.
Yeah, especially with the tires he's on now.
I mean,
Lucas is at a disadvantage.
Even if it takes him 10 laps to get back up there again, he's got time.
He
You
does.
can see
He's got...
off in the distance, Matthew Faust running about 2.8 seconds back of the lead, so he's about 2 seconds back of them. So I mean, we could have a 3-car battle here. Yeah, Matthew actually was about 0.8 of a second faster last time by. So if he can keep, he also hasn't used any push to pass.
Oh, Matthew's into the grass.
Yeah, well, you know what? I just jinxed him. Sorry, Matthew.
Oh, but looks like no contact, and he's right back to being about 4 seconds.
Yeah, he lost a couple seconds there. Well, I jinxed him. Good old announcer's jinx.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. One of the endurance broadcasts where I had control, every time I switched over to a driver, I always catch them right before they crash. I started getting a little concerned.
They knew you were watching and panicked.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd switch over to one driver, and they're going pretty smooth. Half a lap later, they're in the wall. I'm like, all right, we'll move over to someone else. I think this was when we had a lot of rain. I can't remember which course it was.
About to say, I gotta be more specific.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, iRacing in their official endurance events has loved their rain.
Yes. It's been a little absurd with how much rain. It was a 24-hour Daytona. Is it Petit Le Mans? No. It was Daytona. 24-hour at Daytona.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause every time I would hop on, I think it was while we were doing a driver change, so I started jumping around. Got a little concerned about going back to our team.
I was about to
Did it
say,
anyway.
I don't know. It
We
seems
were fine.
there was some major lack of racecraft in that, and and some of that was the rain. The dynamic debris was also another issue where
Oh my goodness.
the
there was
debris
so much.
it just built up on the track, and it's like there's no caution to clean it. So what are we just gonna drive through dirt by the end of this? And the rain washed away. You can see the dynamic debris on the outside of the track there. I mean, they've done some improvements with some debris cautions, local cautions, and they needed to make some improvements after Daytona. That was rough. It's like they needed the rain to wash the debris away.
Yeah, because it just looked like you were just on ice driving through that area.
I think Erik said it was like 17 of the 24 hours it was raining or the track was wet.
Oh yeah, something like that. It was just crazy.
So Lucas has opened up a little bit of a lead. Let's go check in on Ian Miller here. Lucas and Hunter were battling. He's built up a 21-second lead, so he's just cruising out there.
Yeah.
I almost should change off the camera to somebody else so we don't jinx him. So stick around after the race. We'll have an interview with the top 3 finishers and have a brief preview for Indianapolis next week. Have a lot of guest drivers sitting in for Indy. It's a popular race if you don't can't imagine there.
How many guest drivers are we talking about here?
Good question.
Guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah.
Be there for
That's. I'm thinking we're probably gonna have a minimum of 5.
Oh.
And it might be more than that. So we're still we're still actively recruiting. I mean, you can see the numbers have dwindled down a little bit since the start of the season, and I did some interesting. I was looking up. I found a website with like an iRacing league manager that lists all the leagues, so you can search by car type, by day, and there's only 13 IR18 IndyCar leagues in iRacing right now that have more than 10 people on the roster.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so it's not exactly something where there's a lot of interest in it. So recruiting has been challenging. Actually, it's somebody, when we said we were going to do an Indy series, they said that it's tough to recruit, and they weren't kidding. I mean, we've had moments where we've had 17, 18, 20 cars out there, but to consistently get that traffic out there has been very difficult. But I mean, Wednesday Night Dash had the same issues. We had many early races where it was 6 or 8 cars out there, and
now we got a big crew. Have to create like a waiting list now.
We did, yeah. I actually, we opened up 2 spots for next season, so but yeah, we were actually on a waiting list. Chris's brother
Pretty
Connor will be joining the series. That was made official yesterday.
What was that, the 3rd set of brothers to race in?
It is the 3rd, yes, that is correct. That is the 3rd set of brothers to race in Wednesday Night Dash history.
It's pretty cool. I think. Were you the first?
Yes. My brother was the first. He raced a couple seasons with. Well, raced. Well, he was there. We'll say that. And I'm not bagging on him. He will admit that he was in over his head, and he dropped out. But then we had the McAreevy brothers of Caden and Kian McAreevy. They raced. Caden won our truck series a few years ago. He was always a strong competitor. He's been in and out with work schedules, but his brother jumped in for a season with us, and now the Fuge brothers are gonna be fighting on track. It'll be like the Bush brothers.
Oh, interesting comment. That'd be kind of interesting to see. End of line penalties.
Garrett Jarnigan says, petition for the Bush, he puts in parentheses, the Bush brothers, to get EOL penalties every race this season to see if they work together or take each other out. See, they also have an advantage too, because they'll be in the same physical location too, that they can they can talk back and forth.
Oh.
That'd also be fun for the internet. They were talking about how to try to balance that out so they can both race without running into too many internet issues. Tell you what, I got they introduced iRacing that flag, that your internet sucks flag, and I got dinged on that a couple weeks ago during a race. It didn't black flag me, but I kept getting, it's almost like a check engine light that pops up in the upper right hand corner of the screen. And I got warned a couple of times, but it didn't boot me back to the pits. So that
I think we've seen that a couple of times in our races, that it actually boots someone.
The nice thing though, one of the big changes that I don't think gets enough credit is if you've seen on some of these iRacing videos from years before where people will disappear from the track and it looks like their car, when it returns, it looks like it bounces, flies into the fence, and then it's body slammed back on the track and sparks go everywhere. It's a very violent, it was like a very violent return to track, and it just, if you're next to somebody and they disappear and then they reappear and you just see sparks, it scares the crap out of you. And they fixed that. They actually changed it so it made a more gracious re-entry to the track, and that fixed does not get enough credit, in my opinion. That we had some early races where who do we lose now?
Hunter Hughes went into the dirt, and Foss has taken third place.
Let's go back and check that out.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of overran one of the corners. We are on lap 41 of 50.
Get into some marbles there. Oh! He just went over that curb. It's alright, he saved it. He's back and running.
Yeah, he is.
So Matthew Faust is back in third, so...
Yeah, Hunter Hughes is about 3.5 seconds behind Faust.
As I said, we've had a bunch of close battles all night. Now we're spread out.
Yeah, it was bound to happen.
Yeah, Matthew's 5 seconds behind Lucas. Hunter's 3 seconds behind Matthew. And Chris said that he will unplug his brother's Ethernet cable if he has to. Fair enough. Chris has seniority in the league. I think that's a fair... fair decision.
It'd be interesting to see do like a brother race or something like that, where it's like you have to swap positions, kind of like an endurance race after X amount of laps.
Well, if I had my brother in there, we would be in big trouble. So, I mean, I'm not adding much to the team either, but it would be bad. So, you might be watching. You might be hearing me just rip on him here. Which is fine. I'll get text. Yeah, or worst case is I'll get a text from my mom like, "Why are you making fun of your brother?"
That would be interesting, though, a sibling race or something like that. I know we talked about, I think we've done a significant other one.
We have not had that yet because we haven't been able to recruit enough people to make it worth our time. So for those who are not familiar, the significant other race, and we're calling it the significant other challenge, is your significant other, because there's women on here. You could have your boyfriend, your husband, who may not, you could come in. But the whole point is the significant other who is not on the iRacing platform gets a few months to train in probably could just do like a next gen at Las Vegas, I think is what we decided. You work with your significant other, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, whoever, and you work with them for a couple of months, get them ready to go, and then we put them all on the track together and race and see how it goes. So I think we've got like 5 people committed to this, and I think if we get it to 10,
that'd be interesting.
We can make this happen. So it's gonna be that whole, you talk about like that video game, that sequel that never comes out, but then like one day it will. That's like how I feel about the significant other challenges. This is going to happen someday. I just don't know when.
Talk about radioactive moments.
Yeah.
We could have a whole huge family race.
They have their own league, family league.
Yeah. Looks like we're down to about 6 laps remaining.
Ian's just cruising through Thunder Valley tonight.
Yeah, he
Heading
is.
off to the carousel.
He's got a 30-second lead ahead of Lucas. And then Matthews right behind him, about 5 seconds behind. Hunter's about 6-7 seconds behind Matthew, and Erik is about 52 seconds behind Hunter.
I don't think he has enough time. Will we lose somebody again?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, I'm just imagining how different next week's gonna look with just the amount of drivers we're gonna have, and it's also Indianapolis. It's always a fun race to stream.
Yeah, so I drove 2 races with a broken foot.
That's,
I mean, it's Atlanta. Well, so Texas, I lasted a lap, but I mean, I did all the practice, I did all the, everything leading up to it, on a broken foot. But yeah, Atlanta, it's like, okay, I just need to tap the brakes to enter the pits.
yeah, I mean, still can't imagine driving with a broken foot. That just sounds painful and lots of icing afterwards.
I mean, I've been putting
I don't
the
know if icing helps.
putting the ice pack on after, yeah. Yeah, I just remember I woke up Sunday morning after spending an hour working on Mid-Ohio, and I'm just like, oh, this is not going to work.
Might work for Indianapolis.
It's like I just brake a little bit for the pit stops. I should be okay.
Could be the wild card that affects the whole race and stay out there and keep fuel saving. Next thing you know, you're 40, 50 seconds ahead of the pack. One fuel stop less.
I mean, yeah, it's like I want to win at Indy. Yeah, you got 2 chances a year to do it.
This one's the easier one to do.
It's not the big one.
No, it is not. Well, I'm glad that your broken foot's now for the short one instead of the long one. That'd be rough.
Yeah, a good thing is I only need like another 3 weeks in the boot. And I should be. I mean, I worked on Darlington too on Saturday just to kind of get back into the feel of the truck, and I'm sure between the work on Mid-Ohio and Darlington is why I had a swollen foot, but I should be okay by the 23rd to get back in the truck again. And
yeah, that truck series is gonna be fun.
just the cautions is going to add just another dynamic to it that will shake things up. And
hey, I mean, that's racing though. It'll add a little bit of spice to the race.
the fastest driver and the most skilled driver do not always win.
No, they do not. Always very interesting.
So Matthew's sitting about 4.7 seconds back of Lucas. Lucas is about 34 seconds back of Ian. Yeah, Matthew's starting to use his push to pass now. Still has 166 seconds though, but Lucas still has 127 seconds.
Yeah.
Can't carry it over to the next race. Let's use it. Although I guess too. Well, the other thing too is it depends on fuel saving. It's like push to pass plus fuel saving doesn't exactly work. So
you just be at normal baseline status then. Well, we may see the standings kind of have a little bit of a shake-up after tonight's race. Ian's gonna take off a little bit more.
Before this evening, there's our standings. So Ian's got himself a little bit of a lead. He's going to grow that lead with Derek having a rough night. He's going to put himself in nice position going into race number 8 of the season.
Yes. And I think Matthew will be able to get a little bit of a gap between himself and Erik. Lucas will probably jump up a couple positions as well. But these road courses are always, I feel like, are always a wild card to these standings. just never know what happens after these races, after the road course race. Sometimes it's just not your night on a road course.
No, it's not. All right. As Ian Miller comes through the carousel, he's going to take the white flag. If he can keep it clean for one more lap, he's going to cruise to victory tonight.
Yes, he is. He has the fastest lap. I believe he also led the longest.
I mean, once he got out front, he was gone.
Yeah, he was.
Took him a little while to get up there, but all right. One last trip through Thunder Valley. Sets it nicely, entering the carousel through turn 12, coming around through turn 13, and there's your winner. Ian Miller walks away the winner tonight in the Stadium Scene Grand Prix at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, what a drive by Ian
It's
tonight.
just monster drive.
Yes.
Here comes
Like,
Lucas coming through the
using up whatever of his push to pass is left, it looks like.
cruises through the carousel, and here comes Lucas Puntarelli securing second place tonight. And just behind him, Matthew Faust taking third. And Hunter Hughes is coming into the carousel now as well. And Hunter locks in P4 this evening. All right, so Erik is a lap down. They're closing this out, and we are all done. So let's take a look at those final standings here, and there's your top 7 tonight. As we mentioned, Ian Miller with a dominant drive takes the win, followed by Lucas Puntarelli, Matthew Faust. Rounding out your podium, Hunter Hughes in 4th, Erik Richardson in 5th, Derek Booker's 3-race win streak has ended this evening in 6th, and Greg Hammond rounding out your top 7. So we will get a word with our winners here shortly. So Taka, while we're stalling here, what was your big takeaway for tonight?
Well, I thought that tire strategy would have actually played a bigger role, but I felt like I was wrong. I think every driver had their strategy. They kind of followed it, and be curious to hear what the top 3 drivers had in mind for strategy. And not too much of a takeaway, but very interesting.
All right, we are joined by our top 3 finishers tonight. We'll start with 3rd place, Matthew Faust. Matthew, good evening. Congratulations on the 3rd place finish.
Hey, thank you, man, DJ. Sad not to see you out there today, but fun race overall, and happy to finish 3rd.
I'm not sad about it that I'm not out there. I'm okay watching tonight. So, just you had good battles. There was a couple of off-track incidents. What was your big takeaway from this evening?
Yeah, I mean, today I feel like I came in. I feel like I executed a good race, good plan. I was able to push at the end, but as you mentioned, just in the second stint of the race, just had too many off tracks. I was able to kind of catch Lucas there at the end, but I just I'd gone offline too many times to really make it interesting. So, but overall, solid day. I can't beat myself over those mistakes. I still made it in the booth for the interview. So,
hey, that's
all in all a good day.
You get into the interview. That's that's a good thing. So again, Matthew Faust, your third place finisher. So second place, Lucas Puntarelli. You said you were going to finish Rossi's donut if you won tonight, but unfortunately you came up one spot short. So still, second place is nothing to front over. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you very much. Well, that's okay. I didn't want to embarrass myself with Rossi anyway.
Still
but I'll take second place.
One of the most embarrassing celebrations of all time in IndyCar, I think. But
oh, definitely, very awkward moment for him.
Well,
but yeah, I'm very happy with second place. Hunter, he had me a bit after the pit stops. I thought he was going to get me. I just couldn't get those primaries to work at all. But after some inter-team communications, I've learned a few things to get around those hard tires. But yeah, I'm just happy I managed to keep it out of the wall, especially with a difficult track like Mid-Ohio.
All right.
It was pretty fun.
It was a strong drive. Everybody seemed to have their little issues here and there. Although, moving on to our winner, Ian Miller is here. Ian, that was quite the drive tonight.
Well, thank you.
It took you a little bit to get up to the front, but once you got clear, you were long gone. We didn't spend a lot of time following you. But how was it out there? I mean, it looked like you had a little bit of a challenge getting up there, but how did that feel?
Once I got the primaries up to temp, I felt like I had really good pace. It also helps when you don't start the race in second gear and on map 8.
Oops.
That helps a little bit. So that's why I just dropped back so quickly. But once I figured out what was going on there, I managed to reel Hunter in and reel Matthew in, and I think it just felt really good tonight.
Awesome. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this evening, gentlemen. Congratulations on your top 3 finish. Any final thoughts about going to Indianapolis next week?
I'm very much looking forward to Indy. Very strong track for me. Let's just hope me and Ian don't have another incident.
I thought it was me and Derek. Yeah.
And then I got kind of involved in that.
Okay, yeah. Yep. Hopefully it's a bit of a redemption arc at my home track. So.
All right, you don't want to miss that next week, Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. I should hopefully be back in the car for that, and we'll take all the ibuprofen beforehand, and I'm not missing that. Although it's my wife's birthday. Shoot.
Oh boy. That's a big bucket.
Oh, I'm in trouble. Well, crap. We'll figure something
Well,
out.
you better win the race then.
Yeah, that might be the least of my worries. Anyway, so we'll be back at Indianapolis next week, and hopefully I will be joining you. We've got Dover coming up after that, and closing out with our long race at Auto Club in May. So I hope you tune in for that. As we mentioned, Wednesday Night Dash will be back on April 23rd. And Taka, final thoughts before we wrap?
Looking forward to the race next week. Hopefully, no technical issues on my end, and we'll have a good race.
Yeah. This is twice now this season I've had to bail you out, so you're gonna have to come up with more drastic excuses next time. I mean, food poisoning is pretty drastic, but
Oh, that was horrible. Never again.
Although I don't know, a food poisoning broadcast might be kind of fun. I mean, not for you, but for the rest of us.
That mute button is going to be used a lot. I missed the mute button.
The mute button becomes the puke button. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. On that note, thank you, everybody. This has been the Indy Racing World Series from Mid-Ohio. Ian Miller is your winner. For Taka Timmerman, I'm DJ Fluck saying good night.